The Realme 6 series is officially upon us, and here in the Philippines that starts with the Realme 6i. Unlike the previous Realme 5i, which had little to set it apart from the Realme 5, the 6i is distinct enough from the 6, giving consumers clear options. Now the question is, who is the Realme 6i for? Now, starting with design, this is a pretty sizable device coming in at 6.5 inches. It's got some heft to it, probably due to its large battery, but is still comfortable to hold thanks to the curved sides and matte finish on the back. As mentioned in our previous hands-on video, the back design of the Realme 6i is the work of Japanese industrial designer Naoto Fukasawa. The somewhat holographic vertical lines along the green tea colorway are really cool and may remind you of a Rimowa suitcase. Here at the back are the quad camera module, LED flash, and capacitive fingerprint scanner. Checking out the front, we get pretty slim bezels on the sides with a thicker bottom bezel. It uses a water drop notch setup to maximize screen to body ratio. The notch houses the front-facing camera and call speaker. Unfortunately, there does not seem to be a notification LED here. On the left side, we have the volume controls and triple card tray with a dedicated microSD card slot. On the right, the lone power button. I personally prefer all the buttons to be on one side as this prevents accidental presses when you're propping it up on a table sideways, like when you're watching a video or something. Nonetheless, it's not that big of a deal. Either way, the buttons are nice and clicky to press, and yeah. Now moving to the bottom, we get the headphone jack, microphone, USB Type-C port, and loudspeaker. It's nice to finally see that USB Type-C is a standard now on most entry-level devices, as well as the fact that there's a headphone jack. Overall, the Realme 6i's design is solid enough. It provides the basics in functionality while being aesthetically pleasing thanks to a unique design from Fukasawa-san. The Realme 6i has a 6.5-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1600 by 720. This is quite low on paper, however, it's not bothersome for normal daily use. It's not winning any awards for displays, but it's enough for text to appear crisp, colors are nice and vibrant, and viewing angles are great. Overall brightness is also pretty good, being viable for outdoor use at around 90 to 100% brightness. As for audio quality from the single downfiring speaker, it's unremarkable. At maximum volume, it's not really that loud and it's lacking a lot of punch. However, mids and highs are quite clear. Now checking out the cameras, the Realme 6i has 4 rear cameras. These are a 48 megapixel main sensor, 8 megapixel ultra-wide, 2 megapixel macro lens, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Quality from the main rear camera is decent, not bad, but not inexplicably amazing either. There is a good amount of detail with the standard auto mode under good lighting, something that can be further improved by using the 48 megapixel mode. With a dedicated depth sensor, portrait shots have good subject-background separation even with non-human subjects. The ultra-wide lens has a large field of view and isn't that far off in terms of quality from the main rear camera, and the dedicated macro lens is really cool to play with as you can get right up in your subject's surface while still remaining in focus. Now checking out the 16 megapixel front camera, by default there's a pretty strong beauty mode effect that I'm honestly not a big fan of because it's quite aggressive, so I'd rather keep it off. Nonetheless, selfies have a good amount of detail and skin tones look quite natural. If there's one point where the 6i's camera system is weak, it's in low light situations. Shots are really noisy and muddy, and the night mode does little to remedy this. For videos, we can only shoot up to 1080p at 30 FPS. Stabilization is present, but it's nothing gimbal-like. Quality is about the same as you'd expect from the photos with regards to detail, color, and dynamic range. Powering the 6i is a MediaTek Helio G80 chipset with a Mali G52MC2 GPU with either 3 or 4 GB of RAM and 64 or 128 GB of internal storage. Our unit is the 4 plus 64 GB memory configuration. Overall performance is great, especially for such an affordable phone. You will be able to run resource-intensive apps with ease, and the 4 GB of RAM will allow for a generous amount of multitasking. GPU performance is moderate, but you can play pretty much any graphics-heavy game with a good frame rate. With an Antutu V8 score of over 200k and both 3D Mark Slingshot Extreme tests coming in over 1000, it's about as good as a top-tier flagship phone from 3 to 4 years ago. That might not sound very impressive, but consider that this is an entry-level phone and 3 to 4 years ago is still fairly recent. Now for software, the Realme 6i runs on Realme UI based on Android 10. I'm a big fan of Realme's own implementation of Android as it still has some design elements from ColorOS, which I'm also a big fan of. It does have an app drawer and comes with a lot of cool features including icon customization and system-wide dark mode. Now for power, the 6i comes with a 5000 mAh lithium polymer battery with support for 18-watt fast charging. This is a great capacity that, with the low resolution screen and power efficient chipset, can provide more than a day of moderate usage. In our standard video loop test, the Realme 6i lasted for 21 hours and 11 minutes of straight playback. Now to wrap things up, the Realme 6i is a strong start to the lineup's release here in the Philippines, providing a lot of features and solid performance at an affordable price. For a starting price of just shy of 8,000 pesos, it's a tough deal to beat if you're on a budget and looking for a very reliable phone that excels in almost everything it aims to be. It has some drawbacks like that subpar display and very average camera system, but that aside, Realme did a great job with the 6i. So that wraps it up for our full review of the Realme 6i. Now what do you guys think about this phone? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit the bell icon so you don't miss future uploads, and be sure to visit YugaTech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Joey, and guys, stay safe, stay home, and stay hydrated.